Hello, YouTube. I've changed my microphone settings a little bit. So first, I wanted to say, um, if it's worse than before, you have to let me know because then I had to figure out how to get back to where I was before. So with that said, my name is Andy, CamReacts. I am a Korean American that's been a staunch follower of K-pop since the late 1980s to the early 2010s, and I just kind of fell off the map and stopped. And I have a lot of catch up to do. So here I am. Today, or this time around, I'm going to be looking at. Oh gosh, I didn't set up my screen regions at all. Here we are. Sorry about that. My screen regions also have changed a little. Looks like just unprofessional, Eddie. So Ateez, and this one's called Thanxx with two X's. Looking forward to it. It's been a while since I feel like it's been a while since I've listened to some Ateez. It's kind of like the slight Middle Eastern or Indian area influence. I feel like I've heard this song before. I think it's just a common chord progression is why I say that. Ooh. I like to start changing color palette here. Is that sun? Of course, there's a 중어, high notes and all that. I'm feeling a stark lacking of San's facial expressions being having close-ups on him. Yeah, I feel like I didn't get to see my boy San much here. It's a flying ship. Cool. I want to see their dance practice. songs, a lot of the choreography has to do with footwork. I feel like this dance choreography is gonna make people lose some weight. Don't appreciate Sun being shot by Mingi there in the beginning of this, but how does his voice go that high? The song is growing on me a lot. I really like their interactions here on this relay dance. Does it have bloopers? No. I need a beauty shot real quick so I could pause for a second. So the song has grown on me a lot in the last in the three times I've listened to it actually, which is a fairly common scenario on this channel where I listen to a song multiple times and it grows on me quite a bit. I have to say, one thing I noticed is I know San is my bias, as I call it, right? As it's called, which is not changing for now. It might never change actually. I think his facial expressions, the way he moves, the way he sings, it's exactly like, it's hard to uh, compete against that, right? But there are two runner-ups to potentially wreck it or become bias A, B to San being bias A. And the first one is three of them actually, I should say. The first one is Woo-young. Woo-young is he's like a silent charisma guy, charismatic. I don't think silence is the right word, but when he's when he's front and center, he's definitely commanding of your attention, or at least my attention. So stage presence is what I'm getting at. He has it. He has that it factor. And then we talked about the devil lineup, as I think we've been calling it, which is Hongjung, Songhwa, and San. I think Woo-young is a close. I feel like Woo-young should be considered as a potential member of the devil lineup, as I guess. Second one is is that his name? I feel like I do this every time I watch an Ateez video. Yep, it's So his I really like how light on his feet he is when he dances. I like the way his style of dancing. It's not overbearingly. It looks so effortless, I should say. Um, and bias record number three is Songhwa. He was originally my bias record, so he still is, basically, is what I'm saying. Not to diminish Yosang or Hongjung or Jungho or Jongho, I should say, or Mingi. Just, they're all talented in their own way. These guys are catching my attention for whatever reason it is. But San is still my bias. So now that I got that out of the way, what do I think about the song? I think the song it's reminiscent of like some kind of older song. I feel like I've heard the song before. It's it's a very familiar melody, but it's different enough where I feel like I don't even know what it is from. Maybe it's from a past era of music. Maybe it's the third or second generation, or this kind of music has been around since the second generation, maybe. Um, Sorry, it's late as usual, so I have to yawn once in a while here. Yeah, so solid song. I want to listen to it one more time, but I have to be selective now on what version I watch. I think I'm just going to do their comeback stage. What did they do with Yuno's makeup though? He looks like a little blushes. I think the blush on his cheeks are what makes him kind of look like more like a child than usual. He's a man, but he looks kind of childish here. There's no question they're live. Mingy's moving so fast, his mic is picking up the sound of his clothes and hands moving. And you can clearly see when they're not singing and the backing track is going over. It's Did he hit that note live? Ooh. You could hear Tomo breathe on that mic there as well. No doubt they are live here. The backing track exists, of course. Oh, look at this. There's bias record 1. There's no order to the 1, 2, 3. This whoever bias record I see. Bias record 2. Yeah. So the lyrics, if I'm not mistaken, is about doing what I want, leave me alone, basically. It's about self-expression and fighting against expectations that are unjustifiably set on them. That's what I got. It's very incomplete in that I was not able to follow the entire song or its lyrics, I should say. So that's a weak spot on mine right now. The song grew on me a lot. The first listen, I was like, I don't know if I like the style of melody when I talked about the Middle Eastern and or Indian, that Western Asian influence. I didn't quite jive with at first, but then as we got more into it, that part didn't even bother me. It didn't even register to me anymore. The song was starting to take a form of its own in my interpretation, and the instrumentation is actually pretty fire. And of course the guys performed it well. Out of 10, what do I think? I definitely prefer like The Real, for example, and probably even Inception. Is that the last one I watched from them? But it's not a bad song by any means. It's just I have to be in a specific mood for this song compared to the others. Like The Real can be played at any time of the day, and I will stop and listen. This song, I must be in a mood to really get into it. I feel like I think it's an 8 out of 10 for me. Yeah, 8 out of 10. I think it's a solid, solid song. I'm really glad I got to see more Ateez perform here. They're Where do you guys learn to make those facial expressions? That's what I want to know. Obviously, practice. Um, by the way, um, I have decided that I want to get through the title tracks of all the groups before I do more guides. I've only done 2 guides on this channel so far. Ateez is another group I want to make sure I get to a guide on pretty soon, but I do want to check out their title tracks. I did a Dreamcatcher guide, and I did get spoiled on a few songs, especially some of their like earlier songs, and I didn't mind it at first, but then as I started listening to this, reacting to the songs, I noticed I already knew part of the chorus, for example, and that was affecting my um the surprise, right? It's no longer as big of a surprise as it was before. So I was thinking maybe for just the title tracks at the very least, I want to get through them all. So if I could ask for your assistance, it is to list all the title tracks. Um, it seems like nowadays groups are making music videos for non-title track songs now as well, which is great. But it also means I'm having a hard time determining which one's title track and which one is not title track. If I asked, if someone already listed this already, um, maybe you could point me into that comment, or if you want to just really quickly um, just put a list down of here are Ateez's title tracks, and then I will get to those first before I create a not create before I get to reacting to a guide about Ateez. I think I have a few recommendations. Thank you guys um, for making sure I know which guide I need to go to when I get there. Um, so yeah, let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about the song? Do you like it? I can't really pinpoint a spot of the song I really enjoyed, but there's not a spot I didn't enjoy as well, right? That's why it got an 8 out of 10 for me. It's just a smooth ride for me, and I liked it, right? But there were no peaks and valleys. There weren't any high spots where I felt like this song stands out to me significantly. So that's the reason I gotta kind of give it a middle of the road. Eight's actually higher than average, I think, in terms of middle of the road stuff. But it's a solid song. Does anyone else feel like Wooyoung is a fairly is stoic the word I want to use? I need to look up some definition. Stoic. This is the word I want to use. Maybe it's not exactly what I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's not really what I'm thinking of, but it is kind of. Wooyoung appears to be stoic. It's hard to read him, right? It's not just the pain or hardship, it's also when he's enjoying himself or not. It's really hard to tell for me um, until he gives off that big smile. So when he's like performing, and he's got that the when he's in performance mode, I have a hard time reading him, and it makes it that much harder, more intriguing to watch him, I think. Like when San is doing his thing as a performance, he is expressive. He is um you could tell he's what he's feeling basically, or at least trying to portray. Wooyoung, on the other hand, I feel like I have a hard time getting a read on him. Does anyone else feel that way, or is it just me? Is it just me? I need to get used to Wooyoung more, but that charm I'm calling it charm. The hard to read version of Wooyoung is causing him to stick out to me a lot more than uh, maybe my earlier videos of Ateez reactions. I'm curious to ask if you guys feel anything similar, or do you think I just need to get to know these guys better and I'll understand what Wooyoung is doing and thinking or is feeling? um, with that said, I've come to the conclusion that I like Ateez a lot. They bring a lot of energy. Energy is similar in Stray Kids, but completely different in nature of energy. I think they exist in their own places, and it's a good thing, actually. It's a great place to be. Stray Kids has its own sound. I think Ateez has its own sound, although I could definitely recognize several of their voices now, for example, right? So the obvious ones are Hongjung and Mingi and Chongho. Those guys you could definitely, and actually San as well, is starting to stick out as someone I could recognize their voice even without watching. So I could definitely not understand, recognize them by voice, but their song style, it's starting to click for me a little bit. Like I said, Stray Kids, I've done more reactions of Stray Kids on this channel thus far. I could probably tell if it's a Stray Kids title track without knowing it's them. There's just a very specific sound that they produce. And I think I'm seeing something similar to Ateez. I think they have a specific sound and they have it's a cool sound. It's a little harder, it's a little darker sometimes, but it's rock, not rock, pop. It's poppy in a good way. And yeah, I'm looking forward to more Ateez, is what I'm saying basically. If you made it this far, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Please leave a comment. What do you guys think of my odd assessment of the song? I understand that my assessment was pretty vague. Like I said, it was a fairly consistent ride for me. Pretty consistent, I'd say. Not a lot of peaks and valleys there. Just a very solid song. Wondering if you guys like the song. Is this your, you know, anthem to get the day started, for example, or something along those lines? I'd be curious to know. If you liked the video, please consider leaving a like. It helps the algorithm of some sort to help YouTube, to help my video get more recognition in YouTube by showing up on random people's feeds, for example. And finally, if you liked what you saw here, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out. It really helps me understand that you guys enjoy what I'm doing, what I'm reacting to, what I'm posting on this channel, but also it also really stay motivated. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Stay motivated to get to the next recording session, because right now it is late and I'm starting to fall asleep as I stand here. But I really want to get more reactions out the way, because I really enjoyed interacting with you guys and girls. I know I say guys in a non-gender specific way. I always use it in a term to be all-encompassing, but of course the common meaning for guys is a group of boys or men, right? I'm trying to correct that, so I apologize. It's gonna take a little bit, but please understand that I'm talking about everyone. So anyways, now that I've aired that out of the way, have a great day, have a good evening, have a good morning wherever you are. Stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.